Hi guys, I'm Shmee and today we're in Germany visiting TechArt. Now if you've been following my recent Where's Shmee Euro tour, travelling around Europe, we stopped off here at TechArt as one of the visits. I gave you a quick overview of the venue as we were here, but I wanted to come back and go over the cars we're looking at in a little bit more detail and show you what they are all about. We've got two cars in particular, and the first is going to be the one right behind me, which is TechArt's new version of the Porsche 911 991 Carrera S with the new turbocharged engines. So I'm going to show you around the car, take it for a quick drive, and then we're going to be looking at something else afterwards as well. So when I was here before, we went inside, took a little look around, I talked a bit about what TechArt's about. So the customization, creating entirely bespoke vehicles, trying to change as much as possible to create a sort of vehicle that's bespoke and unique for the customer. So this car is a perfect example of that, especially on the visual front that you can see, and I'm going to show you all about that and talk about everything that's changed away from the standard car. But first, let's talk numbers for the engine, which in this is raised from the standard car's 420 PS up to 480, and from 500 Newton meters of torque up to 580. So good gains, and hopefully when I take it out for a drive, that will feel rather special to be driving. From a visual point of view, obviously we've got a bespoke paint colour on this car, TechArt sort of signature style design. There's a new look to the front end with the new lower bumper. We've got these Aero intake, Aero sort of wings around the side of the intakes, carbon fibre splitter at the bottom, also the carbon fibre Aero piece here beneath TechArt's badge. Some signature TechArt touches like the painted rings around the headlights. TechArt's wheels on this car, front and rear forged wheel, carbon fibre on the door mirror caps, new side skirt. We'll come around to the rear. The most important thing at the rear, of course, this is sort of the design with the new 991. This sort of opens up to allow cooling to the new turbocharged engines. And this is actually an interesting one because this is the sort of wing one. They offer two different options, and this is attached and will still operate aerodynamically at different speeds to allow the cooling into the engine. They also offer a larger fixed wing. Now that opened up an interesting problem, and I've been told about this, because when you have the larger fixed wing, of course it doesn't then open up to allow the cooling. So to get the cooling, the sort of design of the wing has to incorporate airflow to make all of that work. So the car's going to the wind tunnel to have that sort of confirmed, make sure it's all set up properly. As we come down the rear, we've also got the central piece, the central diffuser piece, and you've probably noticed we've got a quad tip exhaust system. This is valve controlled, and I haven't heard it yet, but I imagine that is going to sound rather nice. So I'm looking forward to hearing that shortly. Calipers, bright orange. You're probably wondering why they are bright orange. The key is also bright orange, customized. Let's unlock the car. And this is where it gets very unique. The entire interior has a complete overhaul and is customized. So the leathers you see, custom leather material to go with the exterior, new sort of pattern and texture to it, carbon fibre trim pieces around the centre console, so around the dashboard. Plastics are often changed to the exterior colour, lacquered, so the door handles, the air vent surrounds, even these controls for the seats are lacquered the same colour as the exterior. You've got all sorts of other parts that have been customised, the orange stitching, the piece here at the front of the vent, and the stitching on the steering wheel. The drive select mode is also painted orange to match, as is the rev counter, the gear stick, everything, even the Sport Chrono package in the centre. So the entire interior is completely bespoke, even sort of the piece here for raising or bringing the seat forward, done to lacquer the exterior colour. Carbon back seats, and these two seats in the rear as well, trimmed and installed, which is not how you can get the car from the factory. And heading further down, TechArt door plate, custom pedals, floor mats, and I'm going to show you in the bonnet. There's a nice touch, I think, if we come around here, is, let me lift this up, remember how a Porsche bonnet works. Even in here, you've got the custom mat at the base of the bonnet, and you've even got some lighting installed into the underside of the bonnet for illumination into the bonnet, which is something that the standard car does not come with. So from a visual point of view, it adds a bit of aggression to the Carrera S. From a performance point of view, it raises the numbers, and we'll be experiencing that shortly. So all in all, it's a pretty bespoke package, and of course customers will regularly come down here, have a look and go over the sort of full options and everything for creating a car. So I think it's about time now to get this car started up, and we're going to take it for a little drive. Here we go then, the TechArt Carrera S. So it immediately feels quite turbo-like, you know, that's my first impression. I haven't driven this new generation 991, 991.2 as you will, but this feels like a pretty good way to be starting it, especially when I look around at quite how special this interior is. It's definitely a very, very nice place to be sat. And obviously we've now got this new dial on the steering wheel for the different driving modes, which is totally new to me. Drive, Sport, Sport Plus and Individual. I say totally new to me, it's actually obviously carried over from the 918 where you have the E-mode, hybrid, and then the different driving modes. But the first thing, if I put it into Sport, you can hear the exhaust valve opens. Yeah, that's a lot noisier immediately. Valvetronic exhaust, of course, such a nice thing to be able to have. I'm sure there are other settings, but we have a nice display that shows me as well. You can also control the exhaust with the dedicated button built in here, which is nice. And this car also has a TechArt lift system for the front axle, which lifts the car higher than the standard system, and can obviously be installed on cars that don't have the standard system straight from the factory, which is quite a nice thing to have, and that's done through a button just in here to lift up the front axle. I think I might just try that, just out of curiosity what happens. Up we go. Yeah, that's clearly quite a lot of height at the front. And then pop it back down. Has it gone back down? No, maybe it goes back down. There we go, we're back down. Nice and easy. Okay, that's definitely a welcome addition. Now, I'm in quite a wide car, and the road here gets quite narrow, so I'm going to play this very, very safe, so as not to touch the curve on the right side. Obviously, driving a left-hand drive car. But pootling around, of course, just as you'd expect. Absolutely lovely car, and like this, you'd have no idea you were in a new turbocharged engine car, that's for sure. Absolutely no idea at all, and we still have 500 horsepower on tap. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens when you put it into manual, experiencing a little bit more push, how much power is available to us. So, let's find our way out of town, somewhere where it opens up a little more. You may already have noticed I'm following the Magnum, the Cayenne GTS, and that's the car that I'm going to be talking about later on. At least it just helps me know where I'm going without having to worry too much. But as we're on some slightly more sweeping roads, just enjoying the car, suspension definitely feels good. Obviously the steering feels wonderful, you'd expect so. Porsche, it's a driver's car. If my GT4 is anything to go by, they do a pretty good job of that. So let me knock it first into the pedals. Downshift a few gears, the 7-speed PDK of course, keeps it in manual mode for the time being. I should really actually put it in sport and open the exhaust valve, so let's give that a whirl. Sport, let's get some noise from it. Okay, we've got the overrun pops, burbles, bangs, crackles. There we go. Do you know what, this is remarkable. Initially, just driving like that, you wouldn't realise this was now a turbocharged car. It doesn't feel drastically different from the previous cars at all. I'm absolutely kind of blown away by that. I've read it and been told it, but I didn't necessarily realise it, so that's kind of cool. Well done, Porsche. Look it to the left to keep it manual. You can use that, push away for down, pull towards you for up. Yeah, this feels pretty good, doesn't it? Okay. I'm just trying to think about this, because what we've got here is a car that basically has as much power as the GT3, the outgoing GT3, the 991.1, which had 475 horsepower, and this has 480. Now obviously there's a little bit more weight, and there's a bit less aero, although with the TechArt package you do kind of reinstate that aero. So this is actually quite a car. There's a lot to it, and the power is I don't really know what to say. it doesn't feel like what I expected it to feel like. Oh look, Cayman going the other way. GTS. It feels really, really good. Now, if only we didn't have some traffic so I could go out and drive it harder. But there's obviously decent power on tap. There's good looks available. It's very, very nice inside. This is a really good package. Nice acceleration feel, nice burble when you get there. Downshifts aren't bad either. That's what I love about these kind of gearboxes, the PDK especially, it's so good. And when combined with an exhaust system like this one, you just want to shift all the time just to enjoy the sound of it. I suppose why not? All it is push a bit. Yeah, this is good. This is really good. I'm going to pop it back into drive, just enjoy sort of chilling out a bit and enjoying the car. But first impressions are really, really rather nice. It's a very, very nice package, and it's just beautifully, beautifully trimmed inside. We've also got the centre stripe, the 12 o'clock stripe on the steering wheel. Everything's sort of re-trimmed and refitted and has these nice orange touches everywhere you look. It's a really, really bespoke and smart package. Well, as we arrive onto a nice bit of road, I should probably put it back. Let's try Sport Plus, so the most firm setting, the quickest shifting if you had it to the right in the drive mode. We'll obviously keep it in pretty low gears. And probably give the most engaging sporty drive. I can feel a bit more kick from the shifts. Suspension pretty firm. That's what you want when you're out for a proper sports car drive, especially on sort of small, exciting roads. Down to third nicely. I like it the way it does that. I like the way it's set up. As soon as it thinks you want power, it's going to give it to you. It's available immediately. This is more the kind of road that a car like this is made for, especially in the Sport Plus mode. Twisty, but pretty smooth, flat, wide, open, exciting, nice lines. It's a very, very, very neat package. This works. It just really, really works. And if you want that individualization and bespoke sort of appearance of your car, you can't really do much better. This takes a sort of Carrera S, everyday driving, comfort, efficiency. That's why the engines have gone turbocharged. But it adds something a little bit back to it to make it sort of a little bit more enjoyable every day and something a little bit more unique and special. So I would be very, very keen on this package if I was a new Carrera S customer. I think this really, really adds a lot to it, especially when you look at what they can do and what TechArt offer by way of customization and retrimming for the interior. Really rather fantastic. For now though, I am just going to enjoy what is a very nice road in a wonderful car for the purpose. Not bad at all then, and there's one more thing I would like to show in here. So let me jump back into the car. Now, being the 991.2, and I've never been through here, it has the new infotainment screen and system, so just really quickly, let's have a quick whiz through what we're looking at. Vastly improved display screen, very, very, very high quality. Everything more or less as you'd expect in here, in German of course. Yeah, some pretty sort of displays, all sort of slightly updated, still got the same air conditioning controls underneath. But new look above. So that was a rather nice drive. The interior of this car is lovely. The steering wheel, TechArt's very own steering wheel, is a very nice piece to hold. And I do like the new drive selector that is sitting right there on the wheel as well. So, rather lovely car. Enjoyed this one a lot. And next up, we're going to be jumping in the Magnum. So we're going to swap the cars around and let's take a look at that. Next up, we're taking a look at the TechArt Magnum. Now this is based on the Porsche Cayenne GTS, so the sporty version of the car, except the Magnum is TechArt's largest package available for this car, so it gets a very, very significant overhaul. Power goes up from 440 PS to 480 PS, but you can probably tell already the main thing is the visual and aerodynamic look. This car has had a lot of changes. Starts off by being made a little bit wider arches, new wheels, new skirts, completely redesigned front bumper. So this is entirely designed for TechArt. The Magnum look has the large sort of Aero wings and intakes around the front, channeling air to different places. The new look grille, again like the 991, we've got TechArt's sort of signature headlight surrounds. We've got an entirely carbon fibre bonnet. Now if I quickly show you that, again a colour matched key. The interior is pretty special. We're going to come back to this in a second. Let me just open the bonnet, because that's the first thing to talk about right now while we're on the outside. This is a carbon fibre bonnet, and you can see all the lovely carbon underneath, and the TechArt logo embossed here. That's rather cool. I like that. With the as we come round, the intakes here with the body painted fin just inside the red fin there, which is a nice touch. So we've got various bits of carbon fibre, the door mirror caps, we've got the trim stripe along the side, which flows neatly, just breaks up the side a little bit. And then as we come round towards the rear, we've got the spoiler at the top of the rear deck, the rear window, and we've got the lip spoiler to the boot, to the trunk lid. And then moving down towards the bottom, we've got the diffuser here, and they actually have, it's a detachable diffuser, because you can also have the tow hook available for the car. So there's actually an electronic kit in the diffuser that recognises, in the bumper that recognises whether the tow hook is, or the diffuser is there or not, so it can control whether to release the tow hook. So there's actually a lot more work that goes into some of these things than you might initially realise. We've obviously got the quad exhaust tips, carbon fibre exhaust tips. That should, in theory, make a rather nice noise. Now, without much time wasted, let's come back to the interior, because that's where things in here get rather interesting. This is a completely overhauled interior package, so more or less everything you're looking at is new materials, new trim. Start with the carbon fibre. Just look at this, the red and black sort of twin weaved carbon fibre everywhere. On the door panels here, around on the centre console grab handles too. It's all absolutely beautiful. We've got the body painted plastic parts, the sort of lacquered in the red paint to match around the key here. We've got red leather on the air vents here, on all the air vents as we go through. The Magnum logo at the bottom of the gear stick. The seats, of course, Alcantara with the diamond stitch, all custom TechArt logo on the headrest. All very, very custom and rather special. And again, they're a custom steering wheel, Alcantara here, but nice piece to hold. So in here is it's not a bad place to be. We've got all the sort of features like the Sport Chrono dial in the centre, and the rev counter matching, and all the sort of technology I suppose you expect from the Cayenne GTS, even the Magnum badge for the rear as well. So, let me jump in. I'm going to start this car up. We've got the red lacquered seat controls there too, TechArt floor mats, just everything in here is pretty nice. Let's jump in here and give this a start. Now, the door is open so we can hear this. Turn the radio off. Not bad for a V6, not bad at all. So, let's take this one for a little drive. We're in the angry brute then, that is the TechArt Magnum, driving on a very, very nice road. So the exhaust is fully open, you can hear that from the word go. It's very noisy behind me. Got manual paddles in here as well, so we can blip it down and enjoy some of the power. 480 horsepower again in the Cayenne GTS base form, so it's already the sportier version of the Cayenne, made even more sporty by everything that comes into it with the TechArt package. So on this kind of road, for an SUV, this car is doing a pretty nice job, to be honest. This is a really, really cool way to be driving. And again, we've got this totally bespoke and luxurious interior, which is such a nice place, and really, really quite works. You know, this is for a car that's, you know, a big car, 5-seater, big boot behind us. It does a very, very neat job of this kind of thing. We're driving down, just cruising through this road. We've got the 7-speed PDK again, and yeah, it's all round pretty neat. I'm going to just pop it into sport mode. That probably makes a little bit more sense for this road. Still go manual override on the paddles though. Bring it that way just to confirm that and keep it on the manual. We get a bit more noise coming through there. This is neat. I like this. There's a lot of power actually. I mean, it's obviously a big and heavy car. It's a Cayenne, but it's got a lot available to it. And one thing that was interesting was inside the showroom I was taking a look at some of the goings on behind the front bumper, looking at a cutout mould, and there's a lot that sort of goes into channeling the air to the right place, to the brakes, to the engine, making sure it's all exactly there as required. It's not just a case of creating a design and sticking it on the front of the car. There's a lot of engineering that has to go on behind that. But this is handling the corners and throwing at it quite neatly. Just pulling around nicely, not too much roll, nicely supported in the seats as well. I'll pop it back into drive. Again, the gear stick, black leather with the red Alcantara underneath it. It's really, really nice. Yeah, this is cool. We've got the sort of ride height settings. Pull the car down, that would have made it even sportier. Or you can raise it up. You know, everything that the Cayenne has, all the comforts and luxuries. In here then we've got the 8-speed auto gearbox as opposed to the PDK in the 991, but it's actually surprisingly quick, almost quick enough that you might not realise it's the auto box, not the PDK. It shifts down very nicely, it shifts up very well, the rev range is also pretty good in this car, so it's a good sort of total setup, I suppose. It's a funny car, I'll admit that, and I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who are not desperately keen on the looks, but the whole point of this car is it's going to fit that niche in a very sort of bespoke kind of product. Oh, we've got stop start too. In fact, both cars have stop start, obviously. But this has, it's supposed to look different, it's supposed to stand out, it's supposed to be bold, it's supposed to make a statement. I guess a lot of them will probably go to areas we can probably guess. It's not trying to be a mass market car, it's trying to be a Cayenne for people who want something a little bit different. And if you want that, you can't really do better. I mean, just look at all the trim pieces in here and the whole comfort and feel of the thing. It's really nice inside. It's really, really nice. Unfortunately, that brings me to an end of this rather nice visit to TechArt today to get to drive the two cars, the 991 Carrera S TechArt Aero package and also the Magnum, the Cayenne GTS. So two cars, both very enjoyable, completely different of course. It's been quite enjoyable for me also driving the 991.2 for the first time, feeling how turbocharged or not turbocharged it is, and of course with the power increase available here to 480 horsepower, it's not short, and that was actually really, really nice. I like that car a lot. Same power in the Magnum too, and this has been quite a surprise for an SUV. It's a very, very sporty drive, not much sort of roll, lots of feel to it, and again, pretty nice sound from the V6 too. So I've really rather enjoyed my little visit today to TechArt. Bit of a strange one, recapping back to the Wes Shmee Euro Tour. I've had a wonderful, wonderful tour, visited loads and loads of interesting places. This is like boy racer territory, so many people just blasting past. But yes, it's been a great tour, lots going on, lots and lots of fun, and I've been able to see some amazing cars as well. So I hope you enjoyed this sort of more in-depth look at two of the cars here at TechArt that I have been filming with. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed for plenty more, and do check back over the content from the Wes Shmee Euro Tour. It has been an amazing trip. That's it for now though. I will catch up with you again very soon. Cheers! Okay, so here we go, P1 time. Got the lift system up already, that's going to make it easy to get. If Porsche offered me a GT3 RS, I would not take a second to think about buying one. Let's jump in.